Hey, what is up guys? It is Phantom here and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. So in this video, I'm going to be ranking all the loading screens in Wizard101 from worst to best, guys. So as you know, roughly I would say about 2 years ago, KI came out with a bunch of new loading screens, one specifically for each world. You know, instead of like, the generic like 2 wizards that you'd see every time you'd like enter a new area, literally in every single world, they came out with a bunch of loading screens that pertain to the world's theme and how they, encompass the world and everything. So they came out with a bunch of new ones, obviously, as most of you know who have been playing the game ever since they came out with that certain update. But anyways, in this video, I'm going to be ranking all of them from the worst to the best. Really, I'm just going to be ranking them based on kind of how good they look, maybe how well they summarize the whole world, how well they encompass the whole world, just stuff like that. I don't know, just like random stuff like that. I guess this is a bit of a random video, but anyways, let's move on to, let's see, I guess there's probably 15, 16, 17 loading screens or something, because of course we're going to also rank the original one because that is still in the game, but there are a lot of loading screens, at least one for each world. So anyways, let's get into the worst loading screen. So coming in at the worst loading screen in the game here is no surprise, at least to my fans, Wisteria, guys. I'm going to have to put Wistaria's loading screen here because really what doesn't do it for me is, here, let's just go to the world real quick. There's the new loading screen, or I guess it's not really new since it's been in the game for quite a while, but the reason why this loading screen really doesn't do it for me is because there's really nothing going on in it. Like, there's not that much going on in it. Of course, like, it looks good and everything here. I'm guessing this will show up again. Yeah, so there it is. In my opinion, there's really nothing much going on in the loading screen. Like, it's literally just 2 elephants just standing there. And of course, like, the graphics are good. You know, it's a pretty good loading screen appearance wise, but for me, really, it just shows two elephants in their tower. And honestly, the elephants are only really one part of Wisteria. There's also like a ton of other mobs and everything. So, and the elephants aren't even like a NPC that we see. They are an NPC that we see a lot, but they're not really integral to the story, I guess, or anything. They don't really tell much about the world. It literally just showcases a mob. Of course, a lot of these loading screens do showcase mobs, but these ones are just so static to me, and they just don't really mean anything. And you know what, it is a nice loading screen, but I'm gonna have to put it at the worst, just because there's just not a ton to look at there besides the elephants. But it does look nice. All these loading screens do look nice. Anyways, that's really all I gotta say about Wistaria's loading screen. It is definitely, most certainly, the worst. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. So, coming up next, we have Aquala's loading screen. So if I go right here to Apollo's chariot, it shall bring it up. We have, there it is Zeus in his little palace up there, and you know, it might come as a surprise to some people because Zeus is a pretty important, like, character, I guess, like in the grand scheme of Aquila. I mean, he's like the father of, like, at least a few gods. I'm not really sure, I might be getting that Greek mythology wrong there, but Zeus, you know, honestly, Aquila's a really, really beautiful world, and that thumbnail, I don't know, like, the thing is, the problem I have with it is it only showcases basically a third of Aquila, you know, which is the Zeus arc. There is the Zeus arc, there's the Poseidon arc, and there's the Hades arc, which, you know, is really, really cool. And I wish they, I don't know, maybe did something like they did sort of a split screen where you'd see like Zeus's like part of the loading screen, which is all like light and everything, and maybe there's Poseidon's, which is like underwater, a little bit darker, and then Hades, which is like the darkest, and it could show him in Tartarus or something like that. I don't know, if they did something like that, that would be super duper cool. But for this loading screen, they really just showcased the main god, which I can understand. I mean, I know why they did that. I mean, obviously you can't fit a ton into a loading screen, but I feel like, you know, if they somehow incorporated each part of Aquila, like all 3 parts into the loading screen, that would have made it a lot better. But they really only incorporated Zeus's part and just kind of him, you know, wielding his lightning in Mount Olympus and everything. So that's really all they did for it. You know, I just feel like they could have done more. You know, that's really my main issue with it. But Zeus, honestly, I mean, you know, he is a pretty cool character and everything, but just showcasing one part, honestly, I can't get over it. Like, there's just so much more to Aquila than just Mount Olympus, you know? Even though it is one of the 3 main dungeons, I don't know. In my opinion, they just could have done more. Anyways, that's it for Aquila. Let's move on to the next loading screen. So the loading screen that comes up next on the list is going to be Aztecas loading screen, and honestly, for how much I actually despise the world, they gave it a pretty decent loading screen. I mean, it's alright. Let's just take a look. I mean, it's obviously like on the lower tier of this list, but there it is. It is a dinosaur praying to a statue of a dinosaur with 2 dinosaurs guarding the dinosaur behind him. So, this one for me, Honestly, it's similar to the Safari one in the fact that there's just not a ton going on there. I believe the location of the loading screen is actually right here. I think, because like the stone, you know, monument and all that is pretty much the same with the waterfall and the place and everything. So I guess it does represent an area in Azteca, which is good because one of my main arguments for it was it does not represent an area in Azteca, but I'm pretty sure it represents that thing up there. Like I'm 99% sure. So I guess you learn something new every day, right? But really, my problem with it is that there's just not a ton going on there. I mean, it's just a dinosaur, like up on a huge statue, like praying to the gods or something like that, you know. You know what I kind of wish they did for the loading screen is in the I believe the area is like the Tierra de Brea or something like that, where there's like at least I hope I'm getting that area right. I'm not really sure. It might be a different area, but there's an area in Azteca where it's like a bunch of it's like basically dinosaurs that work in the green gem mine versus dinosaurs that work in the gold mine, and the whole area is like split and everything. And it'd be cool if like they did something where like the green gem dinosaurs fought like the gold mining dinosaurs, if that makes sense. Like they were just having like a huge clash, you know, and the two sides collided. If you've quested through Azteca, you definitely know what I'm talking about. If they did something like that for the loading screen, or like showcased a huge battle, that would have been awesome for me. But it's really just a dinosaur praying to another dinosaur, and I don't know, that just doesn't do it for me. Obviously, you know, my opinion, my list and everything, people are gonna disagree, but that's just what I think about it, really. So anyways, let's move on to the next loading screen. Alright, so the next loading screen on the list is going to have to be, you know, it kind of breaks my heart because this is a really nice area. Definitely one of my favorites in the game. You know, it's not technically its own world, but it's kind of its own world. So next up, it's going to be the Arcanum, and there's the loading screen right there, for those who do not know. And really, my problem with it is basically my problem with it is that it is kind of a boring loading screen. You know, the Arcanum encompasses really like a lot, in my opinion. Like the whole place is really mysterious, and literally the thing that they did for the Arcanum loading screen is they put all the teachers there, which is cool. You know what, I kind of respect that. They put all the teachers there, but it's literally just them posing for a picture, you know. And for me, that just doesn't do it. You know, I would love to see like a loading screen with like, you know, maybe it could be like all the Arcanum professors and everything. I want them to like be in this room, you know, with like Sybil in the background, and then just like this huge massive black hole and space and everything with all the stars and like the vortexes and everything. That would just be really cool in my opinion. You know, my main problem with it is it just doesn't show enough space, really. And like it's literally located in space with like a ton of cool space stuff around it. And the Arcanum, it just doesn't have enough space stuff for me, man. It just shows the teachers, which I guess are a really integral part of the Arcanum. You know what? It makes sense. I know why they did it. It does make sense. I just want more of like, can I get like a good zoom? I want more of this, you know? I want more of this mysterious space stuff. Yeah, sorry, photomancy is really fucking weird, but yeah, this is kind of what I expected the loading screen for the Arcanum to be, and that's just not what we got, and I'm disappointed. King Zal, why? But seriously, all in all, it just doesn't show enough of what I want to see, if that makes sense. Because like I said, just space. Space is really cool. I've always loved space. I've always thought space is like the coolest thing. And the Arcanum is literally located in space. But no, it just shows the lame teachers just posing for a picture, for a school picture and everything. It's a little cheesy, but I understand why they did it. But it's not a bad loading screen by any means. It does summarize the Arcanum up, I mean, pretty well, because the teachers are very important. Anyway, you get the point, guys. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, so next up on the list is going to have to be Celestia's loading screen. Now, I don't really like Celestia that much as a world, but the loading screen's alright. Like, it's definitely more mid-tier when it comes to this list, so let's take a look at it right now. We have the dog and on a boat with his robot companion, which, you know, honestly, it's pretty creative. I like how, you know, it blends two major kind of people in Celestia, which is the robots and the dogs, definitely. Of course, they kind of forgot like the whole sea creature aspect and the whole sea, which is, you know, kind of what the whole world is like located under, and like is a huge theme throughout the whole thing. But they did show the ocean, I guess. They showed the ocean and them on a boat, so I guess I can probably give them a pass for that. You know, my main problem with it, though, it is gonna be, you know, a question of pretty much the same thing as the Zafaria loading screen, as well as the, you know, I don't actually remember what the other loading screen that had this problem was. Yeah, I don't know, but the Zafaria one had this problem, and another one on this list also had this problem, and that there's just not a ton going on. I mean, they're just on a boat, you know, and the dog, like, they could make the dog, like, be looking through like his binoculars or something, or like maybe the robot's like trying to tap him on the shoulder or something, maybe trying to like warn him that like someone's coming. I kind of want to take another look at it right now, so let's just go to the floating land here, so we can take another look at it, take another gander and everything. But you know what? I like it. It's not a bad loading screen at all. You know, we're getting to the point where, you know, we're showcasing pretty good loading screens. So yeah, maybe you can make him like look through his binoculars and everything. I don't know. There's just not a lot of like expression, if that makes sense. There's not a lot of expression in that loading screen. You know, maybe the robot does look kind of worried, but I feel like they could give a little bit more emotion, you know. But it's still a pretty epic loading screen, I guess. You know, like I said, it blends like two major characters in the story and everything, so I do think that is pretty important for the loading screen, and I think that is what it does really well. But there's not enough going on for me. Like I said, I like a lot of action, you know, in my loading screens. I really do, if you guys couldn't tell from this video. And I just realized this is totally unrelated, but the ocean for oh my god, it doesn't even have animation to run into it. The ocean for the floating land is like extremely low quality. I don't know why I just brought that up, but I just noticed it. Just like how pixelated it is on the surface. Sorry, I'm just roasting KingsOut at this point. But anyways, guys, let's move on to the next loading screen. Hashtag give the floating land, or give Celestia a graphics revamp. Anyways, let's move on to the next loading screen. So everyone, coming up next on the list, as much as I love the world and everything that comes with it, we have Avalon. So this world is good. The loading screen is also good. I would consider it pretty mid-tier, but it's not great, and that's why it's not higher up on the list. So anyway, let's take a look. And you know, the reason why, I know what you're thinking, like this is a pretty static looking loading screen. And honestly, in my opinion, yes, it is a static looking loading screen, but I feel like they just make it look fucking epic. You know, like it's just a pretty epic loading screen. Like here, if I go through one of these portals, will it show it again? Yeah, so there's King Artorias with the sword and everything, you know, just attractively looking at the camera and everything. You should go watch my top 10 hottest male NPCs, or top 5 hottest male NPCs video. Anyway, enough self-promotion. We have King Artorias as the loading screen here. I don't know why I'm just going through it so many times, but it's pretty easy to do so, at least in Avalon with all the teleporters so close by. It makes it pretty convenient. But King Artorias, I'm going to give it points because he's just an epic character, honestly, in my opinion. And, you know, the whole world kind of does revolve around him, so it really does make sense as to why they chose him. They chose to put him like in the loading screen. Obviously, it has him and his big castle in the background, as you can see there, which I think it's pretty good. I think it goes with the medieval theme quite well, in my opinion. I'm just gonna take another look because, ooh, damn, look at that man, look at that fucking man. But seriously, oh god, this is not gonna turn into the hottest male NPCs video, I promise. But King Artorias, he represents really a lot of what this same world represents, like courage, like knightly valor and everything like that. It makes sense. It does make sense that he is the main character. He is the king, you know. He is the king, and this whole world is basically a kingdom. So it would make sense to put your king in the loading screen. And you know what? They did it, and it looks really, really nice in my opinion. So that's why I put this here. You know, I don't really know how many people will agree, because it is a pretty static looking loading screen in my opinion. But it's a pretty good one. So anyways, that's gonna be all for Avalon. That's weird how you can. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna stop getting distracted by the game around me. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Alright, next up is going to be the loading screen of Mirage. So this one, you know, Mirage was an okay world, and this is an okay loading screen. Now it does have, okay, wait, does this show the loading screen again? No, it doesn't. Okay, let me go over to the teleporters here, because I'll probably want to revisit this a few times, if you know what I mean. But this one is, it's okay. Like, it's really similar to the Avalon one, I feel like, because it has one of the main characters in the whole picture, as well as like one of the main places in the background. So obviously in Avalon you have King Artorias and the Keep of the Ganelon, and then here you've got Istar and I don't remember what the palace is called. It might be called Sultan's Palace. God, I'm so gonna get that wrong. I don't know. Honestly, it's called like this. It's called Sultan's. It's something like that. Okay, it's something weird like that relates to Mirage and everything. But anyways, yeah, it gives points. It gets points just because Istar's in it. I'm just gonna be honest. All right, you know, it's pretty nice. You know, looking at her every time you enter a new area in Mirage. Not gonna lie. Other than that, the loading screen is pretty boring in my opinion. But it does also get points just because it looks really, really nice in general. You know, the whole palace and everything with Istar in front of it, beautiful Istar, is pretty good. It's enough for me. You know, it's enough to earn a decent spot on this list. I'm just gonna look at it one more time. Let's go to the Ruble Waste. So yeah, you know, obviously she's motioning towards the palace and everything. I think it looks cool. Like, I like the whole like theme of the whole like Persian theme of Mirage and everything. At least I hope I'm getting that right. I hope I'm getting the whole cultural references right and everything. But I really, really like the whole theme of it. and honestly, that might just be why I put it there. I put it at this place because, you know, it's not necessarily a great loading screen, but it's definitely a good one. I just think it does encompass the theme quite well, and honestly, Agrabah is like one of my favorite areas in the game. So I mean, I'm just gonna leave it right here. You know, just gonna ignore how Istar is in the picture and everything, and we're just gonna move on to the next one. All right, so coming up next on my list here is going to be Crockett Opia. Now this loading screen, honestly, is pretty good. I mean, here, let's just take a look at it. Honestly, before I start explaining, so it's got a little Mander, and then, you know, Sergeant Major Talbot. They discovered something really cool. There it is again. And the Croc, however, is awakening in the background. And it shows the awakening of the Tuts. In my opinion, that is really, really awesome because it shows kind of a storyline that we didn't get to explore that much, and how when the dogs came here, and of course they probably used the Mander's help at some point, when they were excavating for artifacts and all other important Egyptian stuff like that, they actually accidentally awoke the Tuts and everything, you know, angered them, and then they're back, and, you know, we're here to solve the problem and everything. I really, really like that. You know, it shows like a prerequisite to the story that we didn't really get to see, and that's kind of why I put it so high on the list. I mean, it shows the Manders, obviously, you know, we run into them quite a bit throughout Crockett Opia, as well as the dogs, which, you know, is obviously our, I guess they're part of our team, I guess, but so we're kind of the Manders. It's really, really complicated. Also, we do fight Manders, so I guess Manders aren't really technically on our team. They're more maybe neutral, but the dogs, obviously, Sergeant Major Talbot, I'm pretty sure he is the guy that is present in the loading screen there. God, look at that sexy man. But, God, why am I like this? Anyways, the reason why I do like it, I will reiterate one more time, is because it does show that prerequisite story, which I really, really enjoy. You know, it really does encompass the theme of the world quite well. Crocodiles, you know, it shows crocodiles, it shows dogs, and it shows manners. And if I'm trying to think here, what other main mobs are actually in Crockett Opia besides those things? I mean, okay, there's also like flame elementals and like rock elementals and stuff like that, I guess. But it really does show the three main people that we're dealing with here. And it shows that beginning story, which is why I love it so much. So anyways, that's why I would put it here. Really just, there's a lot going on in the thumbnail, God. I have been doing too much YouTube. There's a lot going on in the loading screen there. And yeah, that's really why I like it. Anyways, let's move on to the next loading screen. Alright, so coming up next on the list, we have the world of Chrysalis and its loading screen. Let's take a look right now. So we got a deer knight mouse fighting a Goliath. So, pretty cool. Honestly, pretty cool. I'm not actually sure. Is that mouse Divim Whiteheart here? Because that would probably give it bonus points. I'm actually curious. So let's go to the silent market here so we can look at it one more time. Let me just get a good look at Divim so I can recount properly. Okay, so that's what he looks like and everything. So let's go and head to the silent market because I want to see this loading screen again. And yes, I know I could just go to like another world and, you know, do that whole thing with and then come back here, but whatever. So we're gonna go to the silent market. Is this Divim? It really, yeah, I think that looks like Divim Whiteheart. So, I mean, bonus points because he's just an amazing character in his own right. But really, it shows, okay, so what the loading screen encompasses, at least for me, it does pretty much encompass the whole theme of part 1 of Chrysalis, right? Of part 1, which is really, a lot of it is focused on the struggle between Bastion, the Deer Knight Mouses, and the Goliaths, aka Morgant's army, aka pretty much the Shadow Web in general. You know, basically we fought for control over Bastion in, I believe, what is it? We kind of, I'm trying to remember the questline exactly because I did it pretty recently on my death here. So the questline was basically, well, how we saved Bastion. I mean, obviously we did other things to slow down Morgant's army and everything, but we went to the Shadow Tower and pretty much removed all the corruption from Bastion, which I guess included like all the crystallized NPCs, all the, you know, Goliaths and everything, and all of Morgant's soldiers, and it restored Bastion to the Deer Knights and the Deer Knight Mouses. Sorry, not the spell. Don't get confused. All right. But also there's Caliclac just chilling here, but that's fine. He's pretty friendly. He doesn't bite. But anyways, it really does show the struggle between the Mouses, the Burrowers, I guess I should say, as well as Morgant's army. You know, it just shows Divim fighting a guy, and you know what? It looks pretty good. It just looks fucking sick in my opinion. Let's look at it one more time. You know, just because, you know, it's pretty epic. You know, just like, yeah, that struggle, you know, between the Goliaths and everything. It really does showcase the main theme of part 1, and that's just really why I like it so much, and that is pretty much all it encompasses. The only criticism I would have for it is maybe try and throw in Chrysalis part 2 in there just somewhere, but the loading screen that they have right now is pretty satisfactory for me. So, anyways, I put it there. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, so coming up next, guys, the next world's loading screen on the list is going to be Wisteria. man, do I love this loading screen, and the world in general. So we got Belladonna Crisp acting all serious, probably contemplating a punishment for her pig students right now. And you know what, honestly, it's just amazing. It's an amazing loading screen. It really does encompass Wisteria quite well, because the world itself really does take itself seriously. You know, the whole world has a huge ego about itself. You know, I mean, if you've quested through the world, you kind of know what I'm talking about, but it also captures really the childish nature of these piglets. I mean, I'd probably call them piglets because they're more kids than, like, pigs, than fully grown-up pigs and everything, you know? I mean, obviously, you know, you got Belladonna Crisp, one of the hottest NPCs in the game. I'm sorry, why do I keep bringing up NPCs and their looks? Oh my god, what is wrong with me? Anyway, let's just backtrack a bit. Back to the actual loading screen. You know, you got Belladonna Crisp with her stern nature and everything, and you got the pigs with their immature nature. You know, like I said, she's probably contemplating a punishment for them and everything. Let's just go to, you know what, let's go to Belladonna Crisp's little, let's just go, you know, pay her a visit real quick. But really, the loading screen does encompass the world quite well. God, I can't speak, it's fine. It does encompass the world quite well and everything, with how serious the world takes itself, as well as the actual true nature of the world, you know, and what it is really meant to be. Let's just go visit her real quick. There's the loading screen again. Hello, Belladonna, how you doing? Anyways, I mean, this is where the loading screen takes place, if you guys don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure you do, though. But Belladonna, hi. That's all I wanted to say, really. I just wanted to visit you real quick. Anyways, let's move on to the next loading screen, guys. God, I am a fucking mess. So the next loading screen on my list is going to be that of Grizzleheim. So this one, honestly, it's pretty special to me. You know, it's just kind of a fun looking loading screen. Like, it's just a bunch of bears, you know, going on an adventure and everything, you know, getting their groove on. To me, that's just really fun, honestly, and it encompasses Grizzleheim. Not the best, though, because, yes, even though, it shows a bunch of, bears and, like, you know, the teamwork and everything, they work to, like, achieve tasks and stuff. It's pretty cool. Like, bears are obviously a huge, like, theme in this world, I guess, you know, if that makes sense. They're like one of them, they're literally the main NPC, alright? They're literally the main NPC. They are everywhere, you know, Grizzleheim, I mean, it's literally Grizzleheim. Like, it's bears, it's all bears, guys. But, really, I kind of wish they would show, that, like, okay, for this loading screen, I do have, even though it's pretty high on the list, I do have one really big critique on it, and that is the fact that it does not showcase any of, like, the deeper lore, or other mobs in the game. Like, it doesn't show the lore of, like, I don't know, the Frost Titans fighting the Dragon Titans. It doesn't show any of, like, the Grendels or the Wolves, maybe, or even the Ravens, you know, no Frost Giants, like, no nothing like that. And, you know, even though it does show bears, I'm very, very, very glad it shows bears because they are the main NPC. I just feel like it could have included a lot more. It doesn't even really show the main landscape of Grizzleheim, which is forest. I mean, literally, like, it's all forest. There is a lot, of fucking forest in Grizzleheim, so it doesn't showcase that, but overall, the adventurous bears riding a Viking boat, you know, to me, it just speaks to me, you know, and that might be because I like Grizzleheim just a lot as a world, I mean, and I just like the themes and everything that comes along with it, so maybe that's why I put it higher on the list. But for me, there is a lot of things wrong with it, but there's a lot that's right with it. So really, that's all I gotta say about Grizzleheim. Those bears, man, they're having a real fun time. Anyways, let's move on to the next loading screen. So the next loading screen coming up on the list is going to be Dragon Spire, so let's just take a look here. You got Malistaire, you know, wielding the power of the Dragon Titan with the little volcano layer in the background. I mean, literally just like this whole place, basically, except he's at the helm of it, you know, controlling the Dragon Titan and everything, which never, I mean, it kind of ends up happening, but, like, kind of doesn't. I mean, it kind of just shows, like, his plan and everything to, like, resurrect the Dragon Titan so he can, his power can restore his wife back to life. Obviously, that was his big motive, and honestly, it just looks really epic in my opinion. Like, you got Malistaire just doing his mystical shit thing. He's doing his mystical thing, and obviously you have the Dragon Titan, which is a very, very, very cool thing. I kind of wish they did more with it, honestly. Like, I mean, it's been a while since we've kind of heard about the Dragon Titan, but really the whole loading screen, it just looks epic in my opinion. Like, it's just Malistaire and the Dragon Titan. Two pretty cool characters. I mean, Malistaire's, like, I mean, it might be my favorite character in the game. I'm not really sure. But obviously, you know, and he's got his Titan, he's got his source of power with him, and it just looks epic. Like, really, it just looks epic. And honestly, you know what? It encompasses the first arc, mainly Dragon Spire, quite well. Obviously, just his plan was to resurrect that big old thing up there. And you know what? He kind of does it, except we stop him in the end, so I guess his whole effort was pretty futile, but that's besides the point. You know, it just showcases his motive really well, and it just looks awesome at the same time, so that's why I would put it here. Anyways, that's really all I gotta say about Dragon Spire. Not really too much. I mean, there's a lot going on in the photo, like, obviously. I'm not trying to take away from the importance of it and everything, but we gotta get a move on, guys. This is probably gonna be a long video, so let's just move on. Alright, so coming up next, guys, we have the Dark Moor loading screen. So I had to come to Night Side here, because I'm pretty sure this is the only way you can actually get to Dark Moor is through Wizard City, so let's go through here. There it is, the Dark Moor. The big old Dark Moor, you know, castle in the background with the crows. You got the moon in the background, of course. You've got Shane von Shane. I'm going to go to the dungeon one more time just so you guys can see it again, because I didn't really get that good of a look at it, and I don't know, maybe some of you didn't as well. So let's just do this one more time here. So you got Shane, you got Castle Darkmoor. Honestly, just a really, really epic looking loading screen. And I just forgot how epic... I forgot how epic this dungeon actually is and how epic it actually looks and everything. Yeah, so let's just go back out here, because, yeah, we're focusing on the loading screen, not the world. So Shane is one of my favorite NPCs in the game. He just looks absolutely amazing. And the whole world of Darkmoor just looks absolutely amazing. I love the whole theme of, like, a haunted castle and everything, with just a bunch of new monsters, a ton of new monsters to fight and everything. That's just really, really epic in my opinion, and really, that's kind of the reason why I had to put this here, is just... It's just epic. Like, it's just epic. It's so epic. Shane, I love you. Castle Darkmoor, I mean, there's not, like, a ton going on in the painting and everything, but Shane von Shane is definitely one of the most, like, menacing NPCs, in my opinion. Like, I actually just get scared when I'm around him, and honestly, that's probably Darkmoor's goal, is just to, you know, scare you, like, out of your wits and everything, and you know what, it does a pretty good job, so I'm gonna put it high on the list. It's definitely a good loading screen. It definitely gets me, like, excited to play Darkmoor whenever I see it, you know, and everything like that. So anyways, I'll have to put that there. Darkmoor, you, yeah, 100% have one of the best loading screens. So anyways, let's move on to the next one, guys. Sorry if I'm going a bit faster now, but I've realized there's more loading screens in the game than I have thought, so I'm going to try and round this off, you know, pretty quickly and everything. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Alright, so coming up next on this list, you know, a lot of people might not know what this, a lot of people might not know what I'm about to show next, but guys, this is going to be the classic loading screen. The loading screen that, well, you see pretty much every time you, like, exit the game, I think. Or, no, not exit. God, I'm such an... I'm such an idiot. Hold on. That's the Darkmoor loading screen. I'm pretty sure... No, this is the loading screen that you see. Hold on. Bear with me, guys. I kind of forgot how to pull it up. Let me just... I'm pretty sure if you teleport to your home, it should invoke the original loading screen. The loading screen that they had for every single fucking world in the game, guys. The absolute classic. I had to put it here because it was such a classic. Anyways, let's take a look at it. There it is. Wizard101. The two wizards, oh my god, it's incredible. Let's just go back to Wizard City. We'll get to that loading screen in a bit, but I'm gonna... the only way I can really pull up this loading screen, I can't do it as easy as the other worlds, so I actually have to teleport to my home and everything, which makes it a little bit harder, but I really like this loading screen purely because it's probably, you know what, it's probably the ugliest out of all of them. Alright, I'm just gonna be honest, it's probably the ugliest out of all of them. I'm gonna be real with you guys, okay? But the nostalgia... The pure nostalgia and memories I have tied to that loading screen just skyrocketed in the rankings. It's amazing. It's an amazing loading screen in its own right because it was the first. It was the OG. It was the loading screen that has been here ever since you probably started the game. If you were an OG watching this video, seriously, let's just take a look. Let's just take another look at it. Oh, those two wizards, man. That boy and that girl wizard. At least I think that's a boy. It's just classic. It's so classic. I'm wondering, actually, maybe I can pull it up by going, like, in and out of my main part of my house here. Hopefully I can pull it up this way. That would make my job a bit easier. But guys, it's so classic. Yeah, there it is. It's so classic. That's really all I have to say. It's so classic. It's so nostalgic. I have so many memories tied to it. Just questioning throughout all the worlds because it used to be that staple loading screen for every single world. It's timeless. It will never go out of style. And I'm so glad they kept it around. You know, I'm so glad they kept it around instead of just replacing it entirely with the other loading screens because you gotta have some originality in my opinion, and that loading screen just does it quite well. And you know what? It might just be due to its age, and I might be just clouded by nostalgia, but that's really what that represents for me. Anyways, guys, let's move on to the next loading screen. Next up on the list, I am putting Polaris, guys. This world's actually really, really good, but we're not here about the world. We're here about the loading screen, which is also really, really good, guys. You have so much going on here. You've got the polar bears, obviously, searching for the penguins who are trying to start their revolution and everything, you know, get things started. That's really, really awesome. Obviously, the revolution is a pretty big part of Polaris. I do say so myself. But they also just managed to fit so much in this loading screen, okay? They managed to fit the Aurora Borealis, which, as you can see over here, is just a really, really epic thing. It actually exists in real life. I recommend you go look that up because it's actually a really cool phenomenon. But you got the Aurora Borealis in the background, so that's really cool. I mean, and you've also got the main castle right here, the main palace and everything. Yeah, it's an incredible loading screen. It's just cool. It's really kind of, it just really kind of shows how much they could fit into loading screens if they really, really did try. You know, because they did fit a lot. They really did fit a lot. I'm wondering, can I enter the palace here? Will that pop? Okay, good. So I can. So you got the whole palace in the background. You've got the polar bears as well as, you know, one of them finding a penguin, and obviously the penguin getting caught and everything, which, you know, it's a little bit sad, but I have to put it here. I mean, come on. What an absolute classic of a loading screen. Now, it's not classic in the way that it's really, really old and nostalgic and invokes memories, even though it does invoke a bit of memories. It's just classic because there's really no other loading screen kind of like it. Like, it's pretty unique, you know, in its own right, and how you just fit so much. You can just fit so much in this loading screen. That's just why I like it. That's literally it. That's it. It just looks amazing. It encompasses a bit of Polaris, definitely not the whole world and everything. It kind of missed out on the whole giant golem attacking the entire world, but that's okay. I can forgive them for that. Just an amazing loading screen, guys. I'll have to put it here at the... I believe we're getting to the end here, so it definitely goes near the top of the list, guys. But anyways, that's all for Polaris. Let's move on to the next loading screen. The next loading screen is going to be the one of the world of Marleybones. So this one's really, really cool. I mean, it shows, obviously, Sherlock Bones and... Sherlock Bones. That name still gets me to this day. Sherlock Bones and a few police officers obviously chasing a cat, I guess, you know, in his little car, who obviously stole a bunch of money. And you know what? That's just awesome. Like, there's just sometimes I know I like really big extravagant loading screens, and I did mention that previously in the video, but sometimes that, like, something as simple as, like, just a robbery, you know, can really encompass the world, in my opinion. Something as simple as that cat, you know, just stealing all that money is just Marleybone, like, in a nutshell. I don't know, like, obviously, you know, crime, right? Crime is a very, very prevalent thing throughout Marleybone, if you've questioned through it before. And you know what, that just kind of showcases it on the most basic level, but honestly, I feel like it kind of introduces you to the world really, really well. You know, it already gives you a hint to the amount of crime that takes place, and just how many bandits are kind of just roaming the rooftops, you know, of this place and everything. So anyways, that's really, really cool. I mean, the loading screen, it just looks really, really nice. Obviously, it does Sherlock Bones, which is definitely one of my favorite characters in the game, for sure. Definitely one of my favorite NPCs right there. And was Watson in the thumbnail? Or was Watson in the loading screen? I actually don't remember. Can I go in this little shop here? Okay, no, Watson was not in it. But it's Sherlock Bones and a few police officers chasing a cat through the Marleybone cities. And obviously, I mean, they're dogs. The bandits are cats. I think that's just amazing. Like, fuck, dude. I can't, man. But just whenever I just think about Marleybone, I just think of dogs and cats just wearing clothes, like, and just walking around. I don't know. It's just amazing. It's an amazing world, but the loading screen is also amazing. Okay, and I had to put it high on the list, guys. Anyways, let's move on to, I think we're down to like our last 2 or 3 here, so let's move on to those. Next up on the list, we have the world of Mushu's loading screen. This one is really awesome. This one is a samurai fighting all the ninja pigs that so threaten his life, or maybe they're just training. I'm not actually sure, but I'm pretty sure ninja pigs and samurai are sworn enemies, I think. Like, if I'm getting that piece of the lore correct, I'm not really sure. But we gotta go, let's just take another look. I mean, they're in a dojo, like, they're all coming at him from different angles and everything, and he's just ready to take them all on. I'm not sure if that's really the Emperor or just like any random samurai in the video. Or in the loading screen. It might be the Emperor, because that signature red kimono that he has on is pretty, it's pretty, you know, like, what's the word? It's pretty unique, I guess. Like, it's pretty, I don't know. Let's just go to the Emperor here. I kind of want to compare it to see if it really is the Emperor, because if he does have that exact red coat on, then it definitely shows the Emperor in the thumbnail. If it's not the Emperor, then it is just a random samurai, but I think it's the Emperor, and I kind of just want to take a look real quick. Also, we'll get another sneak peek at the loading screen here, but the loading screen just looks so good. It just looks so good with all the ninja pigs. It's like, obviously, I like a lot of action, you know, in the loading screens, and there's a ton of action going on here. There's a ton of stuff going on here. Oh my god, here. Sorry, move J Champion. I don't want to see you right now. So, if we come up here, we can see the Emperor. I'm trying to think. Okay, so he has like an orange undershirt underneath. I'm trying to like discern who exactly is in these loading screens. I think it might be the Emperor in the loading screen though. Okay, I'm trying to... let's just look at it one more time. But anyways, I'm going to wrap up Mushu real quick here. I just want to take another look to see if that really is the Emperor in there. If he has the orange undershirt, I'm going to assume it's him. Just because, like, come on. I mean, they probably made it pretty obvious, but... Let me see. Is it the Emperor? Okay, no, it definitely is the Emperor. Alright, so it's the Emperor fighting a bunch of ninja pigs. I mean, what's not to love about that, in my opinion? Anyways, lots of action going on in that loading screen. That is really why I love it so much. But yeah, that's going to be all for Mushu, guys. Let's move on to, I believe, the final loading screen on this list, guys. Everyone probably knows what it could be by now, because I've really, through the process of elimination, I've, eliminated all the other options. But anyway, let's move on to the number 1 spot. So the last, but certainly not least, loading screen on this list is going to be that of Wizard Cities. There it is, Gamma, Master Ambrose, gathering around their little crystal ball, which they can probably see some things. It's not actually revealed to us what exactly they can see. Now that I think about that kind of sucks. But anyway, let's just take another look, because there are many doors in Wizard City. There it is. Alright, so really, I had to put this one at number 1 just because I think it's the best. I mean, I think it's the best looking one, in my opinion. I do think it's the best looking one. Probably the best graphics. I really, I think it encompasses the theme of Wizard City pretty well. In the fact that Merle Ambrose and Gamma are both very, very prevalent characters, mainly Master Ambrose, but obviously, Gamma and everything, and you meet them at the tutorial, you've known these guys for a long time, and honestly, God, I am mixing up my words here. The loading screen never fails to amaze me. It just never does. Obviously, they have, the little wizard in the crystal ball, which I can only assume is the player, which, I mean, let's be honest, is awesome in its own right. And then a lot of people were telling me that this figure right here is actually Grandfather Spider. It definitely looks like Grandfather Spider, so it might be a crystal ball, for seeing that we defeat Grandfather Spider in the future, or at least confront him, or something like that, because obviously this loading screen is shown to, like, I don't know, let's say Flint Water over here. Flint Water. Might be shown, this is obviously shown to this guy, who obviously is a novice. He doesn't know what the heck he's doing, so I guess that, I don't know, it has some, like, sort of self-fulfilling prophecy, kind of shit going on there, which, I mean, is fine, but I really love the loading screen. It's just epic. It shows the tale of our wizard, confronting some sort of magical being, obviously, going up to him. Merle Ambrose, Gamma, watching our progress, watching over us and everything, and it's just, this is the loading screen I feel like that, you could use that loading screen, for the entire game, and I think it would still work out. And honestly, it holds up in my opinion. It's pretty timeless in my opinion as well. So anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. A bit of a long one, if I do say so myself. At least it felt really, really long recording this, because you had to include every single loading screen, including the classic ones, as well as the ones from side worlds like Dark Moor, Wisteria, and everything like that. So anyways, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. You can leave a like down below if you did enjoy, or subscribe for more Wiz content like this in the future, guys. That's gonna be all from me. But yeah, like I said, make sure to show some love if you guys did enjoy. The support has been absolutely crazy lately, so thank you for that. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and peace out.